Well, hello again from All My Art and Soul with Michelle Holden. And today I was sort of going through, there's some undone, but I only have, about 8 or so. So this was a couple of videos back. And that was a little further back, very icy and blue. There's that one. That I love the spatters. So I thought, why don't I look through my journal, and there's my reflection notes. So I know, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I am creating a PDF that is going to go along for prompts, various questions that might help you reflect about your art journaling page. And you can just sort of fill it out or paste it here, decorate it. I haven't come up with a nice fancy A4 size, but that is coming very soon. This one, so dark. And this is leftover, like I said many times, probably from this page. And so I flip it and then just put it on, and don't worry about the edges because I stay mostly in the middle with whatever paint I had on my palette. And it's very thick, so that'll be very interesting. It's funny I didn't see that today. So then I arrived at this one. Super, super bright. And then the bright colors made me think of all of these collage papers and a couple of stencils. I want to just use a couple of, I don't know if I'll use this one, but I know I'm going to use my circles. This is it's from an old bingo game for kids, and all the red things that punch out. I thought, man, this is a great stencil. So I've collected them. That old encyclopedia. Why I like this one is that there was a lot of empty space around the edges. I may use that as a high contrast, black and white, even though it isn't white. And any of these colors really from the underneath, which my intention this week is to go super bright colors and then add a layer on top and sort of scrape through with obviously different tools than you would use on a wood panel or a canvas because of, just because it's more delicate with paper. I'm loving tissue paper lately because of the transparency. So I'll just show you some of my selections. This is tissue paper. This is the deli wrap paper. This is tissue paper with the jelly plate printer and then stamped. So it has many layers on it. So I thought, well, that might be interesting. And it's you can still see basic shapes, say if there was a really high contrast underneath. And that's why I like to do that in the early stages. But since I have super bright colors here, I know I want some of them to show through. I know I want to veil. I want to try veiling with transparent papers and with paint and using some scraps. I have lots of scraps. This is just playing with line on printing standard copy paper and then having that real open space. This isn't bad, but I really think I could have taken more time, and I will show you how to improve or how to get better marks that are truly yours. So, coming up, I've used some tracing paper on various journal pages. You see you have that high contrast, so I know I'm going to use it, but I want to use my bright colors, then veil, then come in with some black and white. It may be this nice piece. This is made from your, I forgot the name of the brushes. Chip brushes, I guess, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong out there. And because they're so bristly, and they make, when you do dry brush, it's amazing. So I'm going to have that ready. And I think that's all for collage. I may or may not use the image. I like it. I like to use magazine pieces like color, as color, I should say. But it's the element, it's the feeling of this ocean, the feeling of it that I'm searching for. And does it have a connection to the page, to the marks, all those things? I do nothing without meaning, and that's why I call my work, I consider it layers of meaning. And that's coming up. So lots of stuff coming up in 2024. So stay tuned as I work my way through my journey. Please stay along for the journey as it is going to develop, change. I really love this. This is the ghost print. And I love its transparency. So that deli paper is awesome. I'll show you the brand again. It's this brand, dry wax paper. And this is a 10 by 10 3/4 inches. I know you can get larger pieces, but right now I don't really need them. And I'm going to use these bright colors that are here. I'll show you in a moment. And when I'm cleaning off my brushes, I want to start using, instead of paper towel, I want to start using the pages here. So that, and especially, not so much the brushes, when I'm cleaning off and rolling off my brayer. So I think there's a whole bunch of colors on here. I'm going to have some instant nice collage papers. So this is a big old, it must be too close to 6 inches thick, an old encyclopedia, and a couple of others, and of course those vellum pages, but I'm not using those today. I'm going to see too if I can just roll my brayer on some deli paper and just have some interesting, at least first layer or two for collage. So it makes your life easier. That's the reasoning behind that. Okay. So what am I going to do with this? What is my intention? I think my intention, since it's lots of bright colors overall, I'm going to put some more in, really thin. And I don't want to think about my composition, but I think it might go in the direction of an overall composition. And and it might just take a turn and go like into quadrants, because collage puts more structure in once I start laying those pieces in. Oh, one more piece here. So this is the deli paper again with the comb catalyst wedge, or the tooth catalyst wedge across. And it is so cool because there's wonderful lines. I might use it vertically or horizontally. Ooh, it's looking cool already. So, lastly, these are fancy cups from, some event. And I thought, wow, wouldn't those make a really interesting stencil? Even if I go, partially like that and just dab it on using my makeup sponges. So that's the intention today. And of course I have my water-soluble oil pastels, some Posca markers, pencil, and my usual layers. And I think what I'm going to do too is, which you might want to do, and I will create another PDF for you to hop on my email list, because I have a resource library full of all sorts of PDFs. But these two are more current in what we're doing now. And that is, of course, the reflection page that helps you with your, just what you're thinking, what worked, what didn't work, feelings and all of that, colors. And the other one is, oh, I lost my train of thought. The other one is, well, you'll see it as you go into the library if you sign up for my email list. And if it comes to mind throughout this video, we'll chat about it some more. So let's get this video started, or this page started, which just happens to be a video. All right, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to just put out, I almost went directly on the page, and if you caught that, no, changing my mind. I don't want to do that. It's not the same, and I don't like absolute, especially that color, which is, I said I'd mention the colors. It is cadmium yellow deep. It's the, oh, it's the warmest, most beautiful yellow, I think. And then, of course, there's your cool lemony yellows. This orange is a cadmium orange hue. It's a really nice one, very bright. And I think the blues that I'm going to use with this today, and I'm going to just move my tools over, is teal. And I don't have, so it is just the heavy, what is it? It's the golden teal, it's the standard. What a beautiful color. And some turquoise from Liquitex. And I'll bring my palette over so you can see as I move up. So there's the colors there. That looks better. Okay. And I can even move this over a bit. Trying to get better. And I zoomed in a bit more today. So let me know if you find this better, too close. Whoops, there goes my light as I knock it down. And you see this thing. Oh, here we go. Issues. Oh, man. All right. I think we recovered from that. I might move that over a bit. So, yes. Interesting. Okay. Uh-oh, look what I did. I got yellow. It's one of those days, is it not? Let me know how your day is going creatively, or even just living day to day. Oh, now we have yellow on my collage. Okay then. Okay, I'm back. Just have a bit of a cough, so we know how that does not go with the video. Okay, so let's... I'm thinking that the yellow will really shine through. And of course, I don't want too much yellow. I want to balance it off. Yet I don't want to be thinking too much. So I'm going to put, oh, beautiful. So right here. It looks really cool. It's very transparent. And we know how we can make it more transparent. Giving it a little, let's see. Ah, interesting. So I just love the color shaper. It can really control. Oh, and look at that. So you lose a little bit of the blue, and then I can wipe that yellow away if I want to maintain, you know, I don't want it mixing into a green, a greenish. I like the blue next to the orange, a real orange blue. Love those colors. Okay. Okay. Oh. Nice. Okay. So of course, on this page, I'm just gonna wipe my color shaper off randomly and then just let that build up. And just, who knows? Just the start of a collage layer. I just needed pink. I like this pink. I want it stronger through here. Oh man, that's awesome. I always think, well, why don't I just use bright colors? I don't know. Do you like bright colors? Are they too much? It's an interesting thought. Cool. Okay. And I don't want to leave a blob there. I'm thinking of taking that because I know what a nice mauve that would make. And now I have a shape just randomly happening. Okay, I think I like that. And then you can spread that paint on your collage with your brayer. It's very transparent and it'll just build. Okay, so I'm going to dry this layer because now I want to come and start putting layers over it, of course. But let's see if it's not too late to do a little scratch through. Yeah, so that's one thing with paper, but when you're working on a different substrate like canvas, or if this was pre-gessoed, which I'm going to do, if I think it'll extend increase the layer scraping back possibilities on paper, so I think I will start with a gesso layer. And texture, of course, so, and maybe not on the whole thing, maybe half. So, do you use gesso in your art journaling? Okay, so let's check it out. Okay, so now that I know I'm going to come over the surface with a very thin, dark layer, I think. I'm going to put a coat of the gloss over the whole thing. That might be way too much, but we'll see. And I like to use a color shaper to spread that and see how it really increases the hue. Makes the colors really pop. And if there's excess, this will also help the edges from not bleeding. And I'm just going to put the excess here, and I can use that for this page right below. So this is 140 pound and watercolor paper, and it's a Canson. I can find the front again here. That's it there. And this reminds me, so welcome if you are new here. This channel is all about intuitive abstract art journaling, and I really emphasize abstract because it's non-representational. We're using the elements and principles only together to create, or my intention is more feeling, emotional kind of art. It provokes more of a feeling rather than a vision or representation. I was doing some research on, I just put in the tool, in the search, what is abstract art? So it seems to be from the Tate Museum. That's what they're saying. It's non-representational. Also used along with some other forms. But when you're creating, or when you're having and participating in abstract art journaling, mine is intuitive abstract art journaling because I want the page, I might have a simple intention or one intention, and then I'm going to let it speak to me, talk back to me, and I'm going to follow the direction it wants to go. And that is listening, using your instincts, also your built-up schema of knowledge and experiences, and then just seeing where they'll follow, where you will follow them, of course. Sorry. Yeah, and yeah, so that makes it very interesting. The most I'll get is, like, I may use imagery, but I find I like it to be more open. Sometimes I want the feeling, or the feeling of what this image evokes goes with the page, as I said at the beginning of the video. So that's my... Okay, it's pretty dry. It's got a nice protective layer. Now, which dark should I use? Am I going to use just Mars Black? Or am I going to use a combination of, I think I'm going to use a combination of Sepia, Mars Black. Oh, let's see if I can find it. Oh, no, I think I'm going to go cool. I'm going to use Payne's Gray and Mars Black. Let's see what happens. So, if it's too dark, I can then use this and skim it across. I'm also going to get a dampened paper towel ready if I just want to rub it away. But that's all. I don't want to think too much about it, because the reason for this art journaling is to be exploring and playing. And I'm really trying to push myself into that explore and play and not worry about outcomes. I catch myself going ahead, and I don't know if you do as well. It's like, oh, this would be pretty. Well, you know what? It isn't all about pretty. It's about exploring and pushing the boundaries and the processes. And I just think of this page as one layer at a time. So now what do we have? We've got a super bright layer, more bright colors, and we know most of them are going to be covered, but I'm going to try to reveal different areas with different tools. So let's see how that goes. But I am going to put it on with the color shaper. And if, oh, let's move this over. As you can see down below here, as I said, I had some of that medium left. Just a little black. Okay. Here. Wow. Isn't that so transparent? Now I can thicken it up or not. So the page is sort of warped because of that layer that I just put on. So I'm going to just let, and notice I like values similar to another value. Now say if I didn't want it to go over that far, I can just do that. And scratching through is so cool. So, and I don't think I want all the areas the same dark. I think I want to change it up. See, I like this shape, but see, it's now, because I like it, it's preventing me from going in. So now I'm just going to do that on purpose. I'm just going to go in. Now, you've seen me, this is an eye cleaner spritzer bottle, and it's a nice mist that it uses, a really thin layer. And then what I like to do is use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol just to get a really cool, the drops there. I'm going to let that dry. And I need this covered up. I really like that in there. I'm looking for some other tools, maybe to do some lifting up. I'm liking a more of a blue down here, and I'm going to add a little bit of the turquoise. So neat, especially next to that hot pink. And when you're doing something else, what I find fascinating is that now some really cool shapes can show up. See, I didn't like that layer. Now it's too opaque. now I'm going to switch to my smaller color shaper. I really like that blue. But I think I'm going to go now, why I'm switching to the brayer is that it can make some really cool, just totally unexpected marks on top. See, that's interesting. It's a very high contrast. I don't know. Yeah, see, I like that better. Now, let's reveal more of that. Oh, see those shapes just showing up? It's like intuitive shapes. Might as well take this intuitive thing all the way. Now, see, those are thin lines, so I'm going to see if I can, because it's all the same kind of line, see if there's something thicker, and I know I have something. That is, this is like a clay tool. And let's see if it'll just do, not bad, not bad. And I find when I do something new, of course, and there's this one, it's like just one, like, again, here we go, one layer at a time. I learn about, see now I'm scraping. So ultimately, if this was wood, I would let it dry, and I would come back in, I would use either isopropyl alcohol and a steel wood pad or sandpaper. I can't wait to use sandpaper on my wooden panels. That is so coming up next. Okay, I think this is an amazing, I don't know, third, fourth layer. So let's dry it. Okay. So, and I know this is so neat. I said I was going to, I have more. I said I was going to use it as a stencil, but I really think I want to use it as a collage piece next to this pink. Right there. Okay, but I won't put it in yet because there might be something else I want to do stencil-wise before I come in with my collage. No. See, that's just too abrupt for me, for this one. Of course, the little dots again. I think we need stencil. I think we're going to really emphasize this pinky purple spot. Oh. Okay, possibility. Possibility. Now that's really going to get transparent, and it's a lot lighter. Let's see what else we have. I'm loving this ocean I don't want a horizon line. See, I want it more abstract near the blue. See, I don't know, but I've got lots. See, extending that, I don't know. I think I need collage. Got this one. I like this one because you can, there's lots of choice. This is it's like the negative or the positive, the negative, whatever that is. And then you've got this interesting piece. And that in a blue would be really cool. Right there, the teal. So I'm going to use makeup sponge. It's very thick, very dry, so it's going to be a nice clean stencil. I don't want to cover up all that beautiful deep blue. I just want the eye to go that way. Bit of a, we'll see how we do that. Maybe. Just some organic ovals. Get rid of this yellow here a bit. That's better. It's still pretty strong in there. Cool. Which then you see, so I got the strong yellow and I looked up over at my collage. Now I'm going to use a piece of coffee paper. But I think I liked how the pink worked there better. Okay. And I'm just going to use the fluid. That's my dog, Dexter. Right, dude? Yeah, he's bugging me to go out. So I'm going to get this done first, then take him out. So isn't that neat? It is so thin. So it almost just makes like a shadow. And if you rub it too hard, it'll tear it. So it's almost like it's not even there. So you might even want to double up. And I like to put the clean edge. So, oh, I'm going to do that. Unplanned, totally unplanned. I'm following my instincts or my intuition. There's a lot of talk about that in so many different realms lately. It's pretty amazing. So this is going to create sort of a shape, I think. It might not. I like the overlap up here to the turquoise. So I'm just sort of soaking it, trying to get it through the whole layer. Then I have some other beautiful, see now I'm going lighter. Isn't that interesting? Okay, let's not. I want to put that in. But I'm gonna need the heavy gloss medium. I've been really thinking about the feeling that I want to create with my art journaling pages, because I am exploring for taking it further. If any of you are using this as a wonderful way to discover new things. See, so that's the clear, and it's going to dry. That's really cool. I like how it tore just on its own, following its own designs. I don't know if I like that so much, but you know, I could cover that with paint. We'll see what we do. Maybe this pink over here. Okay. So when you really end up loving what you're doing, it does make it tricky. Notice, see, that's so contrasty, but look how much better it is down here. I don't know if that's the right piece, but it's certainly totally opaque. So it's totally covering up the underneath layers, and I don't know if I like that. See how diagonally. And look at this shape that just happened. That's really interesting. So I might push that back a little more with some since it's cool, I'm going to push this. I'm going to darken that. See, it's like I call them, another artist used the word like flashlights. These bright areas that prevent the eye from moving along. So that's sort of like glazing, but it's not, you know, it's not really the formal purpose of glazing there. And I'm really loving this though. That seems to be a focal point. So we'll see what happens. I'm using lots of transparent collage today, but I don't want to go lighter. Okay. No. You can just, no, too light. So going lighter is not the answer for this one. This is palette paper, so that's just any type of mono printing I was doing or using. And I'm going to put it over something. I think it'll be really interesting. Oh, it wants to go over that piece. Interesting. And I don't worry about the edge because it sort of just melts away. See, this is echoing that. So I think you're going to go right there. It's covering up the pink, but that's okay. There's enough pink. Sort of using repetition. Okay. And then very thick. Okay, I like odds. I didn't want to go 4 there. Getting all paint. So I'm loving the looseness and I'm loving this shape. So let's see, how else could I? So the black didn't work. Let's see if the Payne's gray works. Pushing it back. Liking that much better. I don't want it to cover too much of this area. Yeah. So now there's some overlaying. Very interesting. And that's the squares that I love using, but organic. Really loving that. So I want to pick up, I want to use some loving that. a little too bright. I'm just sort of reacting to this. Now it's like a little face in there. It's sort of cool. I'll leave that. And this, see how this is coming out. So I'm going to let it come out over this pink. There. So I wanted to match that value to carry that over. Okay. So I've got enough. I've got a very large shape, open, textured, and this sort of diagonal counteracting. But I know what's going to go up here. Then I'm going to be finishing it up. It's not going to need, I don't want it overly done this time. Oh, why am I putting the lid on my medium here? I just wanted to move it. So let's see what these pastels can do. Pink. Too much. Too much of a contrast. I think blue. So now that's pushing all those lines back because these blue short lines are going over. And I chose blue because of all of the blue down here. And it was closer value than going, but this one looks good. Yes, this is the one. So I'm going to go over some of these. So it's like this ultramarine. What's this one called? Oh, cobalt. Of course it's cobalt. One of my favorite blues. And I'm liking it because it's like a dark on a dark. Oh, and I don't like that bright thing. And I like the little peaks of the lighter blue pastel underneath. Beautiful. Okay, and I think I want to go all the way, not all the way, but more, since it's very subtle. Now this is where your subtlety can come in. I love those subtle horizontal lines counteracting with the verticalness here. This is interesting. I'm going to see if I cool those off a bit. And don't forget, these are water soluble, so it's closer to that, which is good. Okay. Okay, not too much pink. It has a lot of energy. Okay. I want to push that back or bring this forward. How will I bring that forward? I love problem solving. That was the question today on the Facebook group. Do you love problem solving, especially in your art? It's so cool. So I'm thinking, yep. Just so this is more forward. Yes, I did adjust the value a little bit, but it's still mostly dark. And I want it more forward. I want this back and this shape coming forward. I think it's enough. I just want it to be subtle. I don't want to overdo it. Okay, so I think I'm going to dry this layer, And then we're going to come in with just a little bit of pen work, and I am not going to go much further. What do you think? Yeah, too strong. No, didn't like that. Doesn't need much line. If I'm putting more line in, it's changing the energy if you didn't notice. Okay. Nope. Oh, I think I just like it the way it is. I think I want to do a splash, but I'm going to do a splash of pink this time. I've not done that. It's always been black or white. Oh, there you are. Sorry, I was just looking for this particular brush for the splash. It. And just a little bit. Ooh, don't like that. Needs just a little more water. Consistency is very, I find, particular. Nope, needs more. I think some orange as well. And I'm getting that from this area here. And I'm putting it close to it. Cool. There. That's it. Okay, now we'll dry those. Okay, the big reveal. I love doing this part. But I am going to, and I know, oh, shoot, look what I did. See, that can happen, but very easily repaired. So, I just take a little brush that's dampened. And, of course, lift up the area that's been torn. And use my finger, go back down. And then, of course, bring in the X-Acto knife that I forgot to use in the first place. Okay. There. There's always a little, oh, that tape isn't off yet, so there isn't a lot of bleeding, but there's a little bit. I can really see this page as a large painting. So if you are intending, after you feel ready enough, you have enough experiences with your art journaling practice, which then continues, it never stops, by the way. When you move into, say, larger work, that's where I'm going with this. See, so I didn't like that. So I do like some of that pink. Bringing it down, and then I want to, oops. Okay, obviously, just gotta get in there. Maybe a little blue. Just smudgy. Okay, now that went over it. But it's going to wipe away because I have the gloss medium along the edge. So I can wipe it. Okay. So, very dark, intriguing, layers of atmosphere and light. And that's where I'm going. That's what I've been wanting to get to. So after it sits overnight, this is what I do sometimes, especially for these darker ones. You can come in with, of course, different temperature of glazing, of course, remembering what you use for your darks, which is right here, Mars Black and Payne's Gray. And then you see right here, it's like a little flashlight, or I don't know if I like the temperature, but I think I want to carry that pink over in there because it goes with the piece of collage I used. And that is much better. Anything that just sort of sticks out a lot right when you finish, it's always a good time to look after it right then and there because it's, of course, the work is fresh. And as you can see, I'm putting in some more pink down here. So I think I'm really liking that. Now, those edges didn't melt away as much as I thought they would, but I like it. We're good. Now, to finish off with a little bit of, this would take it over the top, my favorite gold. So I need to get some turquoise pens. Oh, I forgot. I have one. So, and it's just a little bit of metallic. And I usually don't do anything much. Sometimes I write some words. I find this piece may not need any, but if I do choose to use some words, I'm going to put them in right here. And sometimes I need to wait for them to come to me. And guess again, that's how I roll. And I think this green would really work. So I'm going to put that here. And then tomorrow when I come and look at it, I can go, oh yeah, I was going to do that. And do I still feel the same way? I might find something else. And this, it was just like a cup decorator or something. You can find them in all of the fancy wedding sections of the Michael stores and all that. There's so much that we can use. So I didn't use it as a collage, as a stencil, which I'm looking forward to. And what's to stop even tomorrow if then I want to echo the same texture as stenciling, maybe just in another area, maybe right here, using turquoise over that, and just a little bit of an overlap. Huh, why don't I do that right now? Now that I'm really liking that idea. Let's see. Now, it's mostly dry. Well, maybe not. So I'm not going to use a big piece because I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. That is very... Now, the contrast is a little high, and that's okay because... I'm going to see if I can find its spot again. Oh, yeah. There. Just a little, it might be too much, but then what I will do is, since this is a lot of purplish blue, I'll just use a thin glaze and just take it back a little bit more, or even some of the Payne's gray, and it'll be really, it'll work. So I hope you enjoyed this art journaling page, this intuitive abstract art journaling page. And I am going to call it Exploring. Oh, let's just say again, transparent layers of meaning. And I can't believe we are in the month of December. And this comes out, oh, let's see, the 3rd. Holy smokes. Whoops. Okay. So I hope the takeaway from this particular page is, remember how bright we started off. So I'll show the initial page at the end and then compare it. And that's what you could do also with your phone or whatever you're using, because then you need lots of storage for all this, by the way. And then you can just keep a file. Or why do we keep a file? We just need to remember, you know, because we have our art journaling journals for our own records and to use them. So I've been developing a little system where I just take all my scraps and I just even really randomly, but it's a lot of a white background. So I might use different colors. And if I'm really stuck, I'll grab one of these, which I have bright colors. And just to see the effects that I used with one particular palette, so they're organized by sort of the colors I used that day. You probably recognize these very primary colors using the color shaper. And these are just the bundles of card stock that you can get at Michael's. You can get rectangle or square, and I hole punch them and I put them on a ring. And you probably recognize that little series, part 1, 2, and 3. And this is where I kept my inspiration. And then I am enough, just a few little words. It was ringing through that day with the gold. So, oops, and then these I have not attached yet or finished. So, if you're interested, please like and subscribe. As you can see, I am taking this a lot further, going for abstract series, still using the intuitive abstract art journaling process, one layer at a time. And if you're interested in that kind of thing, join me. And I will see you in the next video.